Hey everybody, it's Brandon with Slingshot Sports, and today we're talking about replacing parts on your Sentry bar. And in this case, we're going to be talking about replacing the flagging line, and that is the bungee line that connects you to your safety system that allows the kite to flag out super easy and then reset even easier and get you going on your way. So the first step that you need to do in order to replace this part is, one, you need your Sentry bar and the parts that you're going to be using to replace. The flagging line kit comes with one replacement bungee flagging line and one of these little eye-rings here. You can go ahead and set the eye-ring aside because you will be using the one that's currently on your bar, and you can save this for a replacement part just in case for later. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to need to take the lines off of your bar so that you can access the flagging line. So we're just gonna go ahead and start unrolling the bar on the floor or in the grass next to us. It's not super important that these lines stay tangle free, as you're not gonna be going deep into the line. So it's not like you need to walk them out. You just need to let them out so that you can get access to that little area that you need in order to replace the flagging line. Okay. So now that I have my bar completely unwound, I'm just gonna go ahead and set it down on my surface. And the first thing I'm gonna wanna do is locate my flagging line, which is connected to this big, large metal ring for my leash to attach to. Now that my lines are free, you can see I can easily pull on this line to engage it. So what I wanna do is I wanna pull on this line, maybe holding up here by the pulley block, and I wanna pull my flagging line completely through my bar until the lark's head that connects it to my line is exposed. So what I will have here is I will have my retention rings, my full bungee line, and part of my line coming out of the bottom of my bar. And that's where we're gonna start. Next step you wanna do is you wanna isolate this little eye ring and remove it by undoing the lark's head. Sometimes these knots can get a little tight, so having a little flathead screwdriver or a pair of needle nose pliers may help if you don't have long fingernails and can't quite get into this area. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my little pick here, which really helps undo some of these tighter knots. So it might take a little bit of fiddling to get that line to pop loose. Okay, I'm starting to make some headway here, loosening my lark's head. There we go. Okay, so as you can see now, I've loosened my lark's head completely. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna take the loop end of that, I'm gonna slide it over the eye ring so that I have removed the lark's head, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove the line from the eye ring, setting this aside for reinstallation. Same thing over here, I'm gonna go ahead and slide my safety ring off, set that to the side, and now what I should have left is just my complete bungee line. The next step that I need to do here is I need to loosen the lark's head up here on the top. Again, this is something that takes a fair amount of load as the lines push against this knot to hold the tension on your front line. So you may find that this knot is tight and needs a little bit of time to loosen and get apart. I'm gonna go ahead and open this lark's head up and pull the bungee line off of our flying line. And what you're gonna notice is there's actually a twist in your flying line. And the reason why that is, why there's a double, kind of like a double lark's head, is so that the line stops against the pulley block up here, but also moves freely and smoothly through the flagging line system. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my flagging line bungee completely off of my flying line, setting it aside. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab my new flying line bungee and I'm gonna go ahead and install it. And what's important is that this little black plastic sliding piece goes down to the safety retention ring, and that the other side goes at the top of the line up here, because you don't want this plastic piece up by your bar where it can get a little caught. So in order to make this quote unquote double lark's head, we need to get this line in a figure 8 shape. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the bottom. So if you just start back from scratch, we're gonna go through the bottom here, like this. We're gonna twist this line once so that we're like this, and then we're gonna go back through that twist. So what we end up with is a figure 8 style knot over the top of our line. And then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna take the other end, I'm gonna put it through my line here, pulling it tight. I'm gonna go ahead and take this knot, I'm gonna slide it over the whole knot. So what I should have is something that looks like that, which is a figure 8 over here. And you can see all I need to do is tighten that knot down, and that makes my double lark's head knot. And again, you can see that that makes a little bit bulkier of a lark's head knot that again stops in the pulley block really easily while simultaneously still goes through my flagging system without any hang-ups. So now that that knot is tied and everything looks good, I want to make sure everything's like laying flat and looking nice. I can manage this knot a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and come back down to the opposite end. I'm going to take my safety ring. I'm going to go ahead and slide it over the top of my line, putting it on the line, and I'm going to take my eye-ring and I'm going to put this on the end. Now this is, again, a little bit of a different technique here. I'm going to take my eye-ring, I'm going to slide the line up through one side of the eye-ring. Then I'm going to go back down through the other side of the eye-ring, making a U. Once I have that U, I'm going to take this open end here and I'm going to slide it over the ring, completing the lark's head knot, and I'm just going to cinch everything down. And you see what happens is the lark's head actually gets made on the post in the center of the ring, not on the outside edges of the ring. And then I'm going to take this little plastic piece here and I'm just going to kind of slide it down flush against the knot so that the knot can't come undone and the sliding ring cannot come off. I'm going to go ahead and pull that back up and make sure everything looks good on my safety ring, which it does. And I'm going to go ahead and set this part of my line down, and I'm going to go up to my center lines up here where the pulley block or the front line attachment point is. And all I'm going to do is grab the flagging line and I'm just going to pull it and slide the knot and my bungee back through my flagging line tube, where you see now the knot has come completely through my bar, and I'm gonna slide that knot up until it hits that pulley block, locks into place, and now my bungee is properly installed. Everything looks good, and I can go ahead and get back on the water with my Sentry bar.